Simply Good, Cooking with Rebecca. Today I'm making tortellini soup. It's a tomato-based soup with stuffed pasta. It's great for a quick throw-together dinner or as a fancy side dish. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some water in a pot and get that boiling to cook my tortellini. Okay, so I have my water on, that's coming to a boil. I'm going to start the base of my soup. I'm going to be using 4 cans of tomato soup. These are 10 3/4 ounce cans. You can obviously use one, I think it's one of the really large cans. 4 cans of tomato soup and 2 cans of chicken stock. Okay, so once your chicken stock and your tomato soup are on, you want to turn that on to a high heat. If you're in kind of a hurry, if you've got time, you can turn it down lower. You just want to bring this up to a boil quickly, so I'm going to use a high heat. You just want to stir and make sure your soup and chicken stock are combined. And then we're going to add our seasoning. I'm going to be using garlic powder, onion powder, Italian seasoning, just dried Italian seasoning, and ground black pepper. Okay, once you have your seasonings in there, you're just going to stir it. And I've noticed that my water for my tortellini are boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and drop my tortellini in. Okay, I've put my tortellini in the water to boil. They're going to cook for about 5 minutes. You'll know that they're done when they've all floated to the top of the pan. You don't want to overcook them because they're still going to cook a little bit in the soup, especially if you have leftover soup, then they get mushy. So you want to just cook them until they're just done. But while they're cooking, my soup has come to a boil, and I'm going to add in some cheese. I normally just use 1 bagged or 2 cups of mixed Italian cheeses. My grocery store was out of the mixed Italian cheese today, so I'm just going to be using some mozzarella, a little bit of Parmesan, and then a little bit of grated Romano. But for convenience, I would suggest if your grocery store carries it, just use a mixed Italian cheese. It's much easier. Okay, I have my cheese in, and you want to stir in your cheese. If you don't, you can sometimes end up with a giant mass of cheese in your soup that doesn't melt in very well. So you just stir in your cheese until it's melted, and by that point your tortellini should be about ready. Okay, so I've stirred in my cheese, and now my tortellini's done, so I'm just going to put those in. Also, I've turned down my heat to about medium. You don't want it to burn once it's come to a boil. So now my tortellini are in, and I just give them a stir, and then I'm going to stir in about 2 of the tomato soup cans worth of milk. I'm using whole. This is what I had. I used to make it with cream. You can do that. It's great. I found that it didn't add that much to it, and so I was better off using, less fat. I've made it with non-fat milk. It's still good. Okay, so once your milk is added, you just stir to mix it together, and once your cheese has melted, which it should be melted by now, it's ready to serve. This completes our tortellini soup. It's great for a quick dinner. It goes together very fast. I usually have these ingredients on hand in my pantry and my freezer, so I don't really have to plan. I can just come home and throw things together. It's also great for a fancier meal if you want to serve a soup course. It's one of my favorites, and it's simply good.